There is this myth when you hit your 30s that less is more when it comes to makeup, and I have to disagree. I just turned 35, and the older I get, I feel like the more makeup I want. I'm also a makeup artist though, so I know the techniques to use for a full coverage glam that looks good in person and in photos. Skin prep is the key here, followed by light layers of foundation. I always start with the thickest layer first on a big chunky brush and pushing it into the skin. Then I switch to a smaller brush so I can work the product around my brows, my hairline, and around my mouth. And I also use the foundation to prep my eyelids as well. The next layer is a full coverage bronzer. I'm taking a stick bronzer here and painting it straight on the face just so I can get more coverage out of this. I'm Australian, so I love that Australian bronzy look, so I'm hitting the high points of my cheeks, my hairline, my eyes, and my nose. Cream bronzer can be tough, but I find the more I add, the easier it is to blend. Then it's time for concealer, and I do want coverage here, so I'm using a medium to full coverage concealer. Anything too radiant will just blend out to nothing. I'm loving a creamy liquid eyeshadow at the moment. This is the most foolproof way to get depth on your lids without having to worry about any crazy blending or powders. This blends out so easily. It's honestly foolproof, and it gives a really easy monochromatic look. I do love a sexy smoky eye though, so I'm going in with a bit of eyeliner. And the key here is to use a pencil, because if you mess it up, you can just smoke it out. I also run that along the lower lash line, and because I want a bit more depth, I am going in with a liquid pen, but you can totally skip this part. Now, a good lash serum and mascara will change your life, but I don't mind putting a couple of individual lashes on the corners just to give me a little lift. Don't let people tell you that baking is a technique for 20-year-olds. I use this technique to hide the hollows in my under eyes. I also love how it blurs the skin, but the key here is to use the triangle puffy sponge. If you use a brush, you just won't get the same result here, so the powder sponge makes all the difference. To smoke out my bottom lash line, I am taking just a little bit of eyeshadow and running it along the bottom just to complete that look. And I'm steering away from any crazy blush with this look, but I am going to take a powder bronzer and really lightly apply that over the perimeter of my face. I felt a little bit flat, so I went in with the tiniest amount of this blush and used a fluffy brush. It was very light. I'm using that same eyeliner pencil on my lip, which I know can feel a little crazy at first, but this is how we're going to get that really strong definition. I then switched to more of a nude brown shade to blend it out and add a little bit of powder to set that in. And this is the finished look. I'm wearing quite a lot of makeup, as you saw, but this type of soft glam makes me feel so confident. It's the type of look that isn't too much in person and looks incredible in photos.